What is sound? The shortest scientific answer to that question is that things create vibrations. Those things can be power tools, speakers, or people. But whatever it is, it creates vibrations that travel through the air. And when they travel through the air and enter our ear, they are translated by our brains and perceived as sound. What does that mean for video production, though? Well, since modern video production consists of both visual and audio elements, sound equates to about half of the total production. And if the audio elements suck, it might as well equate to the whole project, because an audience will forgive a lot, but they generally won't forgive bad audio. That being said, I am Dr. Awesome, and we're going to talk a little bit about recording sound. I guess I should clarify. When I say that I'm talking about recording audio, I'm not talking about pitch or resonance or timbre. Those are important things, but that's not where we're at. I'm talking about some very basic things that really boil down to microphones and which microphone to use in a given situation. And I'm starting there because I'm tired of listening to footage that sounds like this. This is what it sounds like when you use your camera mic. There's room noise and vocal presence is poor, and I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it, so we're going to talk about microphones. Starting with this mic right here, which is sort of the standard voiceover or broadcast announcer microphone. These microphones are great if your talent does not need to be on camera. These are designed for vocal presence and things like that, for announcers and DJs, and again, like I said, voiceovers. These are great if you need to put a voice with B-roll or things like that, but they're not great if your talent needs to be on camera because they're big and bulky and they're going to block your talent's face because they got to be right up here on it like this. There's a couple of different varieties of these. This is a desktop model, but either way, they work the same. It's all about vocal presence and not worrying about what it looks like. Moving on from sort of just purely audio microphones, we move to the good old-fashioned handheld cardioid. Now this is sort of the standby microphone, has been for a long time for speakers and singers and reporters. Really, anyone who needs a just durable, reliable microphone, this is the kind of thing they're probably going to go with. It just creates a nice level sound no matter what you're doing with it. They do have a hot spot right here, so what you want to do is you want to hold them out like this and kind of point them at your mouth. That's going to give you the best quality. There are both wired and wireless versions of this microphone, but either way, you use it the same, and you're going to get a pretty decent quality sound coming out of it, no matter what's going on. They do have a downside, though. They're called handheld for a reason. You have to hold it. Obviously, holding a microphone, if you're going to move a lot, is going to reduce your sound quality. It's also possibly going to inhibit you from doing things you need to do. Now, there is the option of putting it on a stand, but once it's on the stand, you're then sort of tied to wherever that stand is. So how do we deal with that? Well, we move on to other kinds of mics, starting with the lavalier microphone. Now, lavaliers are interesting. Lavaliers are condenser microphones, which means they require phantom power. It just means they require a little boost to record the sound that they're being given. But these mics you actually wear on your person, or your talent wears them on their person. And what you do is you run it inside of their shirt or jacket or dress or whatever they're wearing, and you clip it to their clothing and just make sure it's pointed at their mouth. You, generally speaking, want to have it be about sort of the thumb to pinky distance from their mouth. If they're wearing a button-down shirt, you clip to the buttons. If you're wearing a jacket, tie, all of those things. If they're wearing a t-shirt like this, you can just clip it to their shirt. Just make sure it's pointed at their mouth and that the microphone is on the outside and not rubbing up against their clothing. These microphones are great for keeping hands free and some general mobility, especially if you're using a wireless version like this one, but they do have the possibility of recording some other sounds along with your talent. Because they're wearing it on their person and the wires run through their shirt, which we do to make sure it doesn't snag on things, there is the possibility of getting that rub noise, especially if they're very vigorous when they move. And so to get rid of that, what we generally use is a shotgun microphone. Now, a shotgun microphone is just a very hyper-directional microphone that allows us to get really clean audio of whatever it's pointed at. Now, you do have to be careful with these because if you point them straight at your talent, what's going to happen is you're not only going to record them, but whatever's happening behind them and beyond that and so on and so forth. So generally speaking, what we do is we try and put them below our talent, pointed up at their mouth, or above our talent, pointed down at their mouth. And in a lot of cases, how we do this is we put them on a boom. Now, booms do tend to require another person to be with you to help to help hold that microphone in place. But what it does is it allows your talent to really be mobile and fluid and just have their complete range of motion while having somebody follow them around with that mic to create really what I would call probably the best quality of sound. Now, these mics are also great for getting nat sound. So if you're going to go out and you're going to record water or leaves rustling or wind or doors closing or keyboards or apertures closing, things like that, this is the kind of microphone you're going to want to use because you can get right up on it. You can get a really crisp, clear sound from whatever it is you're trying to get. And that is sort of the basic breakdown of microphones, what they do, and when you would want to use them. I know it sounds really simplistic, but honestly, once you start really thinking about how you need your sound to be approached in your project, it's going to allow you to figure out which microphone you're going to want to work with. And it's really important that you start working on this because sound is not something that can be tacked on or thought of at the last moment because it really is, it's at least half of the picture, and if it's bad, typically no one's going to watch your video. So sound is really, really important. And so what I would recommend you do is get a microphone, plug it into the camera or your recorder or whatever you're doing, and just start working with them to figure out what works with your style of storytelling. And that's what it comes down to is practice. Like everything else video related, you just got to practice and get out there and make it happen. That being said, that's really all I've got. There's some other technical stuff. Again, condenser microphones, all of that. Phantom power. There's some other stuff we could talk about, but really I think for right now, this is where to start, right? So just get a microphone, start recording, and let's figure out what works for you. And that's all I got. So keep shooting, friends.